What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, and it has been a long time since I uploaded a video, but we are now way deep into the NBA playoffs in the conference finals, and we have the Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Denver Nuggets in the West, Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics in the East. Both going to be very great series, and at the time of this recording, Denver and LA just wrapped up their game one. Denver takes a 1-0 series lead, winning 132 to 126, and the stars showed up on both sides for this game. It ended up being a very great game, even though at one point the Nuggets were up by 21 points. Jokić had a 30-point triple-double, finishing with 34, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists, and Jamal Murray added 31 points. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 21 points. And for the Lakers, LeBron James had 25. AD had nearly 40 points. And just off of watching this game, I think this is going to be a great series because I think the Lakers have found an adjustment for Jokić. Because if you watch this game from start to finish, I think that the Lakers initially struggled with guarding Jokić because they mainly put AD on as a one-on-one defender on him with no help and just let Jokić. He didn't dominate AD, but he got a lot of tough baskets over Anthony Davis that basically allowed Denver's offense to be virtually unstoppable, because when AD would be on Jokić and the Lakers would collapse, it would just draw out open threes for the Nuggets. The Nuggets hit a ton of threes this game, and they made a key adjustment on Nikola Jokić in the fourth quarter, because even though he did have 34 points to finish, he entered the fourth quarter with 30 points, I believe. He only scored 3 or 4 points in the fourth quarter. Jokić was getting clamped. Because I think what the key adjustment was the Lakers put Rui Hachimura on him instead of Anthony Davis. Rui is a guy who has size. He has decent size. He can play defense. He can't really get back down. And then they used AD as a roamer or a help defender who would come over as Jokić was beginning to drive and affect his shot, affect his passes. And you saw how stagnant the Nuggets offense got late. Luckily, they were able to get key contributions from different role players, and they were able to pull out the win. But I think if you're the Lakers, you have to feel pretty good about going into game two, knowing that you were down 21, but you made key in-game adjustments, and you basically, you got what you needed to win this game. You got a great game from LeBron James, a spectacular game from Anthony Davis on both ends. You got 17 or 19, I believe, from Rui off the bench. Austin Reeves had nearly 25 points. The supporting cast showed up for the Lakers, and their three-point shooting started to pick up as the game went on. But I think if you're the Nuggets, you're a little bit concerned after this game, mainly because, one, you nearly blew a 21-point lead and nearly dropped game one on your home floor. And two, Nikola Jokić, despite having a spectacular game and a historic game, he had 12 rebounds and 5 assists in the first quarter. We haven't had a player have a 10 rebound and 5 assist playoff quarter in forever. And so you have reason to feel good and bad if you're the Nuggets. One, you got the win. Obviously, that's what's most important in the playoffs, survive and advance. But they have to figure out how to counteract the Lakers' defensive adjustments on Jokić. And I think that'll be key to basically the rest of the series. Because if Denver drops game two and LA gets that win, they feel good. They got the split going back to LA. And it'll be hard to see Denver grabbing both of those games in Los Angeles. So, great game from both sides. The stars showed up. It was a great game to watch, and I'll be excited for Game 2. And the Game 2 is on Thursday, and we have Heat Celtics tomorrow night. I'm recording this after the conclusion of the Denver Nuggets and the Lakers game. And so the final thing I want to talk about, this is going to be a pretty short video. Basically, the NBA draft lottery happened, and the Spurs won the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. So if you guys missed it, the way the top four ended up unfolding was the Houston Rockets got the 4th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers, who had a 10.5% chance to get the number 1 pick, ended up with the 3 pick, Hornets got 2nd, and then the Spurs got the number 1 pick, and they will all but likely be taking Victor Wembanyama with that selection. And when you look at the history with the Spurs and number 1 picks, they had David Robinson drafted number 1 overall, Tim Duncan number 1 overall. Both those guys brought championships to San Antonio. And it's hard to imagine Victor Wembanyama not doing the same thing for the Spurs when he reaches his full potential one day. Whether it's one championship or multiple, I think this guy's going to be a very good player in the league. You just look at his skill set. He's 7'2", 7'5", whatever it is, can handle the ball, can shoot, dribble, pass, block shots. He can do everything. Basically, the only concern about him, if there's a concern, is whether or not he's going to be able to build up his body to be able to take those bumps at the NBA level. And I think he's going to be just fine doing that, because he'll put in the work. He'll put in the work to get better at what he needs to get better at. And so when you look at where he's going in San Antonio, I think there's some positives and then there's some drawbacks. One, his teammates are pretty good. They have Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, young guys who are a part of a rebuilding team. But I think if he had gone to another team like, say, the Detroit Pistons, the Charlotte Hornets, or even the Rockets, guys with young and up-and-coming players that have shown a lot of potential that they could one day be very good, like LaMelo Ball, like Cade Cunningham before he got injured, like Alperen Sengun, who's a very skilled big man. We're talking about Jokić and how skilled he is as a big. If you guys didn't watch the Rockets last year, go watch some of Alperen Sengun's highlights. He is a very skilled player, and I think he'll be a very good player in the league. Jalen Green, even though he's inefficient, has shown potential to be a very good scorer. And then obviously I just brought up LaMelo Ball in Charlotte with his playmaking, his scoring abilities. And you even look at a team like the Blazers that had a chance to get that #1 overall pick. They didn't get it, but it would have been very interesting had Portland gotten the #1 pick, because they would have had a decision to make. Do they keep Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Victor Wembanyama, enter the season with a big three and try and just see how much Dame has left in the tank? Or do they say, hey, we probably just got the guy who's going to be the best player in the NBA in 3 to 4 years, trade Damian Lillard to a contender, get a bunch of assets for him to a team like the Sixers, like, I don't know, I'm just naming teams that need a guard, the Bucks in the East. It'll probably be a multi-team trade, and Portland would get a ton of assets for him, assets that could be valuable now and assets that could be valuable later in picks. And so it would have been very interesting had Portland gotten that #1 pick. But it didn't happen. Wembanyama's a Spur, and then the other upside is obviously he's going to be coached by Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches in NBA history. For a long time was the best coach in the NBA. Not sure if he is anymore, but he's still one of the best coaches alive, and he's definitely going to learn how to play the right way, or play Pop's way in that system. So I'm very excited to see where Victor Wembanyama ends up in his career down the line on the Spurs. Is he going to turn in? Is he going to live up to the hype? Is he going to become an all-time great player, a guy who wins MVPs, championships, one of the all-time greats? Or is he going to be a good player? Or is he going to be a bust? You never know. All of this is speculation in terms of how good he's going to be, but I'm leaning on the side that he's going to be an all-time great player if he stays healthy. He'll win championships, plural. I think he can win multiple with his skill set. It'll just be about building up his body and being able to surround him with guys that fit his skill sets, which shouldn't be that hard because he's good at basically everything basketball-wise. And so, pretty short video. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the Lakers-Nuggets Game 1, what happened, what I saw, and talk about the draft lottery, because for the first time in a long time, I think everyone was tuning into the draft lottery, because whoever got that #1 pick, basically we all knew who was going to be Victor Wembanyama's future team. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you guys thought of Game 1 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. Give me your predictions for the series. Who do you have winning? Who do you have going to the finals? What do you guys think about Celtics Heat? Who's winning that series? Which team did you want to get Victor Wembanyama? How do you think he's going to do on the Spurs? So many questions about the NBA. A lot going on. Exciting times. But thanks for watching this video, and make sure to find the rest of my content linked in the description.